Um, Welcome. Would you like to introduce your name, course, and your year?
My name is Danny Mellows. I do history at the University of Hull and I'm a second year.
Could you tell us what area you're from?
I'm from Manchester.
Could you tell us about your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's something that I do on the side at the moment. Just doing sort of some fun videos that I enjoy making.
You you're doing. Can you manage the course you're currently studying at university?
Pardon, say that again, please.
Could you remind us of the course you're currently studying at university?
History. I'm doing a history degree.
Why did you choose your course?
It's history is something that I've always been interested in. And when I was choosing my GCSE options, I actually wanted to do a different topic rather than history, and I was convinced to do the history GCSE, which I then loved, got really into it, and ever since then I've just been like obsessed with learning about the past and previous things that have happened in history. So it was just the obvious choice for a degree for me.
So you're now 2 years into your course.
Yes.
What have you thought of your course so far?
Very interesting. Lots of reading to do. You don't fly by it, but I think that's the course. That's the situation with any course at history and university. So yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do, but definitely something that I'm interested in. So definitely something worthwhile, and I'm enjoying it.
Okay. So you've now. So sorry.
No problem.
Where did you come from in sixth form or college background?
I went to a college called Winstanley in Wigan. It was actually called a sixth form college, but wasn't attached to a school. So yeah, that's where I came from.
And what subjects did you study while in college/sixth form?
History, drama, and biology. A bit of a
Did,
weird mix.
and did any of these subjects help you with your course?
History definitely did, and biology more helped me not on the subject wise, but more of a get your head down and revise sort of thing. Because obviously biology is not the easiest A level to do, so I had to very very much get to grips with getting all the content down and then going through the exams. And then drama, I guess that's just more of a confidence side of things. It helps you to speak out more, which is definitely ideal with a history degree because we do a lot of in-person seminar. Well, not really now in person, but last year the in-person seminars. You get marked on how much you contribute and how much you refer back to the reading and the debates that you have there. So that you definitely need a certain level of confidence to do that to your best ability. So drama definitely helped me with that.
What do you think the best A levels/subjects are for your course?
Not the ones I took. Definitely history, probably English, English literature, which helps you a lot because obviously there's a lot of reading to do with that. Maybe politics. I know a lot of people tend to do politics at A level and come to uni to do history or history and politics. So those two do link quite nicely. So yeah, they're definitely the three that I say: English, lit, history, and politics.
Do you have a placement year?
I don't know.
And is there a reason you decided to take a course without a placement year, or is it your university doesn't offer it?
I just didn't have an interest in doing it. I know a lot of people. It's for them. It's just not for me. I just don't think. I'm just set on doing the 3 years
Okay. So could you remind us of the university you're currently studying at?
at University of Hull.
Can you tell us the best and worst things about studying at the University of Hull, starting off with the worst?
Starting off with the worst, I would say it's probably it's a really nice city centre, okay, but on your way into the city centre is not the nicest place. You go through a lot of rough streets, but you go through it on the bus. You don't walk there. I mean, you could walk there, but I've never done it. It's like a 45, 50 minute walk. I'd rather pay £3 on the bus.
Is there a reason
So
it's bad or scary, or
I wouldn't say scary. There's nothing to worry about with it. It just doesn't look the nicest place.
Oh, so
But then
visualize. Okay.
yeah, but I think that more stands out to you because when you actually get into the city centre, it's really nice. So then you're like, wait, so why was it all like this? Not so nice on the way there. But yeah, around the university, it's really nice. And then there's just like a street or two where it's just a little
Oh,
bit, yeah, just a little bit sketchy. Nothing to worry about. Like I say, you shouldn't, no reason to be scared about it. But yeah, it's just like visually, it's not really the nicest. And you get into the city centre and it's back to being nice again.
anything else bad, or is that pretty much it?
That's the first thing that I thought of. I don't I don't really think I could slate the uni that much. They've done pretty well since I've been here at least.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. So the best things about studying at the University of Hull.
I'd say best thing, probably I'll say to do with my course, I'd say the lecturers are like ultimately supportive. They're really good. Last year, starting university, the first couple of months, I was quite ill with a throat infection, and they supported me through that. They was always checking up on me. So like my point is like not even just to do with your course. They'll
Mhm.
say, yeah, oh, how's your throat now? Do you need to push this deadline back because you've got a doctor's appointment or anything like that? And then also with the course, they was really supportive with that. I know a lot of times last year before an essay was due, I would go in and have a one-on-one meeting with my lecturer, go over my notes, say, is there anything that you could help me with on this? Is there anything that I should be doing differently? This, that, and the other. So definitely that's the best part I'd say about the history department. With the university itself, it's a really nice campus. The on-campus accommodation, which I'm not in now, but the first year one is very nice. The I don't know about there's three types of accommodation. I
We're going
stayed
to
in
get into
West.
accommodation. That's
Oh,
literally the
okay.
next question.
Okay, I'll save that for then. But for now, I'll just say yeah, it's nice accommodation, and there's a lot of opportunities to do there through societies and everything. And yeah, there's they do really well. It's a really good place to be.
So if we now go into accommodation,
Yeah.
where did you live in your first year?
So there's three options on campus. There's Westfield Court, Taylor Court, and Courtyard. I was Westfield Court.
And what did you think about while you were there? How was living in an accommodation for your first time?
Very good place to stay. I'd say moving out for the first time is a different question because you know you're moving out for the first time, you learning all these things, and it's basically one big learning experience away from your course at university. You're learning about how to live by yourself, meeting new people. That was really good. Westfield was a really nice place to stay. It was just built. I think the year before me was the first year to stay in there, so it was all still like really new. Nothing was faulty with it or anything. If there was anything missing, like if you needed like the Hoover replacing, or you needed a new iron, etc., they just hop up, sort you out with another one. They had an app which was really good. So if you ever had any parcels, you'd get a notification on the app and it'd just be come down to reception, pick up your parcel. I'd say that's the only thing now from living here in a house. Obviously, you get the post to the door,
It's good.
so yeah. So yeah, the only thing I'd say about last year is having to is it doesn't even sound it's just me being lazy really, just having to go down the lift and walk to reception to get the post rather than just to the door. But yeah, it was really good last year.
What do
I'd
you think?
recommend that.
What do you think someone who is about to move into an accommodation needs to know?
You need to know specifically the room that you're staying in, what the layout of that is, because before I moved to university, I went through clearing, so mine was a very last minute process. But looking through the different accommodations, you could see what the rooms were like, and there'd be a 360 tour. But it would, do you know them where they put the tripod in the middle of the room and they spin it
Also, it looks
around?
massive.
Yeah, it looked huge. But that's why I'm saying it's a lot better to,
Go
and obviously you can't control what
maybe.
resources you have to look at this, but if you can find like someone that's done say like a YouTube video where they'll take you around the room itself, you'll be able to see then a really good comparison. But the 360 tour can be good. It's just you can zoom in and out on it, and it's like, oh, if I do this, it looks massive. If I do
Get
this, it looks
perspective of
tiny.
how big
Yeah,
it
it's
really is.
yeah. So you're like, well, how big actually is it then?
Okay.
But yeah, so I'd definitely say try and do that. And there's normally give out four floor plans of your actual room, so you can probably get a rough idea with the measurements on there, how big the room is. So if you want to like plan if you're going to put any like posters on your wall or pictures up or however you're going to do it, what size bed you have, so what bedding you need, all that sort of stuff. You gotta look at that. Something I will say about accommodation as well. I don't know if we're going to go into this later on, but get a doorstop. I think everyone says that. I'd definitely say get a doorstop because when you're meeting new people for the first time that you're going to be living with for better half of the year, I'd definitely say you want to meet them as soon as possible. I didn't have a doorstop and I tried to prop my door open with a bunch of things and I just ended up thinking, nah, forget this. I'll just go knock on everyone's door. I was like, should we all just go chill in the kitchen for a bit? And it was like, yeah, easy. So I just went into the kitchen, had a bit of a chat on the first night, got to know everyone, and smooth sailing since then.
So where are you living now in your second year?
I'm living in a place called Ashcourt, and it's student houses. So we're on like a row, we're on like a street. It's a gated community, and everyone in here is students. So and it's like a 5 minute walk from campus. So very good.
And what do you say the
Very.
differences between now accommodation? Oh, obviously you've mentioned the parcel and going to the door, but what
Yeah.
like the biggest differences of living in accommodation to now living in a house?
So obviously last year I was in a flat. So now I'm on the top floor. I say top floor is we got our you walk in, you've got the kitchen and like the living room, and you go up, there's two rooms, you go up again, there's two rooms. So it's not a massive house, but it's like it's all we need really. I'd say the main difference is who I'm living with and the amount of people that I'm living with. Because last year, like I said, like with everyone, you're going in, you don't know who you're living with, you're with complete strangers. You might get on with them, you might not. I thankfully got on with my flatmates last year, but we were all from different studying years. I think we had a postgrad in there, two third years, and three first years, and another. Yeah, that's it. There were the six of us. And this year now there's four of us in this house. Three of us are doing history, one of us doing business. So we all obviously get on really close, always have a good time. And yeah, I'd say the main difference is who you're living with, where you're living. Not being on campus is also a massive difference because being on campus, you can just roll out of your bed, go to your lectures straight away, don't have to worry about being late. And I say that, but we're not even that far now. So I've also got my bike here this year. So if I just in case I'm running late, jump on the bike, easy to get there on time. Yeah,
What do you think the best accommodation is for price?
for price, that's a different question for best, but I'd say, do you mean on campus?
In general, so any all the accommodations out there, so like student accommodation for a first year, what do you think for price would be the best accommodation? They must live in that accommodation because it's a good price and it's a good facilities.
So for first year, I'd say definitely go on campus. And price wise, Taylor Court is the best option. I'd say looks wise, Courtyard probably is the best option. But I'd say, and this might again just be me being biased, but Westfield Court is the in between that you want. It's very nice. There's a lot of people in the Westfield Court community. They have different blocks. So I was in Seacold. They've got Douglas, Sing, Pankhurst. They got everything. And they've got like a games room there, which I also know Courtyard have. They have washing areas. They have a lounge area. They also have a piano room, which doesn't have a piano in it. So I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, I'd definitely say Westfield Court is the in between that you've got the not too pricey. You've got options for ensuite, no ensuite. So there's a fluctuating price there, and but it's also a very nice place to live.
Okay. So if we now go into the university area, can you
Yes.
tell us about the nightlife pre-COVID?
Pre-COVID, yeah. So you've got an on-campus club, which is very good. Me and my friend Jack actually, through doing radio, actually DJ there on a Wednesday now, which obviously I guess it's still a club, but everyone's in benches and everything. But yeah,
Okay.
that's really good for on-campus accommodate for on-campus club. That's on a Wednesday night. They have Piper, which is just down the road on Newland Ave, which is just opposite my accommodation now. And going down there, that's good. I think they normally or normally used to do a Monday and a Friday were the most popular ones. They might have done a Saturday as well, but Saturday it tends to be people go to Attic in town in the city centre, which is more of a more of a whole community will go there rather than just students. I think Asylum and Piper mainly student based because of how close to the uni they are. But you get the bus into town or into the city centre, and you'll go into Attic. You'll definitely have a good time in there. There's different floors, really good DJs in there as well. And then they also have Welly, which is more of a indie club. I've never been there, but I know a lot of everyone who's been there absolutely loves it. I definitely should have went before COVID. And I'm pretty sure that's a Thursday night, and it's also in the city centre, if not very close to the city centre. I think a lot of people have said, like everyone always knows, obviously, like Leeds and Manchester are really good for nights out. And I'd say if you want a good time on a night out, you're going to have a good time if you're with the right people anyway, no matter where you are. And Hull has decent places to have a good time. All the nightclubs you can definitely enjoy yourself there. Yeah.
What's the club for you?
The club for me,
The club for you.
I would say it has to be Piper, I'd say, which is probably not what a lot of people would say, just because everyone loves Welly. But obviously, I've never been to Welly. I think Piper's the best one for me, just because of how close it is. And because my first thought was Asylum, the on-campus one, but then I thought on there it's all students, which is very good for like definitely for socials on a Wednesday in your societies where everyone dresses up. There's a theme. That's all happening in Asylum. That's all really fun and really good. But then Piper, I like more having a lot of students there, but you also get the local people. So if you bump into them, you have a nice chat with someone, and then they can ask you about uni. You can ask them about what they're doing, the job and everything. And it's not always like if you bump into people in the on-campus club, it's always, oh, how's your course, this and that. You're talking about being a student, so it's always nice to that
Common
bit of
ground.
change. Yeah, exactly.
So if we compare the food shops, the shops like, so not food shops, like, your clothes shops, your everyday shops, your Tesco saying, are there a lot of the traditional shops or is it more traditional local shops?
So on Cottingham Road, which is the road that the university's on, you have a Tesco Express, a Lidl, and a Sainsbury's. Then just round the corner, there's an Asda and an Aldi. And so you've got all them
Nice and clever.
mainstream. Yeah. Very close. Tesco's the closest, but then obviously Lidl's probably about 10 minutes from the university. So not far, and that's walking.
So would you
So
say it's more local shops or more like big brand shops?
More the ones that I go to, definitely more big brand shops. There are some other shops there. There's like, oh, what's the one outside mine? Price Crunch is obviously a very good shop to go in for something quite cheap.
Mhm.
They do really good prices in there, and that's just opposite the pub opposite my accommodation now. But yeah, I'd say definitely I always go into Lidl. That's literally designed for students. I'd say the price is in there. Yeah, get your little shop, get your shop for the week done for like 15, 20 pounds, and yeah, you're set then.
What about the food shops and restaurants? Again, is it more big brand shops, your Nando's, McDonald's, KFC, or is it
Hmm.
more local shops?
So my experience with them, it's more local shops. There is a McDonald's right near the university. You just go out and turn right. It's probably about a 5, 10 minute walk down. There's a McDonald's there. And then there's a Nando's. There's two Nando's in the city centre where you've also got, again, like your McDonald's, your KFC, etc. But down Newland Ave, which is the same street where Piper is, on your way down to Piper, you've got your Roots, your Craft and Dough, things like that. You've got Chicken George, which is a nice takeaway. Another takeaway, San Ramo's, just opposite Lidl. You've also got like this Newland is filled with takeaways. I'm very straightforward with my takeaways. I just get my fish and chips. But there's Chinese, there's Indians, all of the different takeaways that you'd want down there. And it literally anything that you'd want food wise, Newland Ave, you've got it there.
What general advice would you give to first years about to study at university?
Specific to Hull or just
Just in general.
in general. For first years, I would say make sure you have a good time. I know a lot of people will tell you, just get you 40% and then that's it. You're all right. First year doesn't count. But I'd say a lot of courses will link back to the first year. So if you're going to go in with the mindset of, oh yeah, I'll just do the bare minimum and figure it out next year. When next year comes, you're going to have a lot on your plate. You're going to have a lot of assignments due, maybe essays due if you're doing a course like mine, and you're going to want to refer back to the notes that you should have made in first year. So make sure that you not only just do the work for that assignment, but make the notes for a reference for you to look back on. That would definitely be my main advice for people that are studying, especially if you're doing something like maths or something that obviously is gonna link back in the future. Definitely use your notes for that.
What advice would you give to students about to study your course?
For history specifically,
History.
I would say work on your essay skills as much as you can. Don't be afraid to ask your lecturers about advice, because obviously a lot of it is essays and seminar participation, and how much you contribute with that. And I'd say if you to your lecturers frequently, you'll cover the main themes and the main topics in your lectures and your seminars. But then if you go and have a one-on-one meeting, then if you're struggling with something, you clear up that query, then you've cleared it up. Then you've got it set. Then for when you go and do your essays, you're 100% certain. All right, okay, this happened in this way. This is now the information about it. This is now I think this about it, and that's what I'm going to write. It's all very much you with a history degree. You don't learn well, you do learn history, but you don't learn history and then rewrite it in an essay. You learn what's happened, and then you're asked a question like, what would say Machiavelli done when such a thing happened? Okay, based off of this reading, based off of this research that I've done, this is what I would have done. But I would also say don't be intimidated by the amount of reading that you have to do. It's doable. You can, if you dedicate the time to it, you can get through it.
What advice would you give to students about to study at Hull University?
I'd say get involved as much as possible. I'd say use the student union more. I only really started using it January of first year. There's the sanctuary in there, which is the pub, which is obviously good for a pub, but they also do some good food, things like that. It's just a nice place to go and chill with your friends. They've got the spa in there, like a the shop spa. No, yeah, you don't go in there and get pampered. But yeah, I'd say that there very good if you want to go, and it's on campus, very convenient if you want to go and grab one or two things. I'd say unless you're getting a very big student loan, I wouldn't do your weekly shopping there. Otherwise, you'll have none of it left. But that's just Spa in general, especially when you've got a little down the road. Spa's prices are going to be a bit, but yeah, I'd definitely say the SU is something that you should look into. They've also got a catering canteen on campus, so even if you don't get the meals through the university, you can go in and you can pay for the meal. So if you wake up one morning, maybe after a night out, you're a bit like, oh, I don't want to make my own food. Go down to the canteen. You can just buy something really quick from there, which I haven't done a number of times, but I know a lot of people who do that.
You chose going to university over an apprenticeship / going right into work. What
Yes.
path you to make this choice?
I know for a fact I wanted to make this choice. I knew for a fact I wanted to make this choice to go to university because I definitely wasn't ready for a job. I will still say I'm not 100% ready for a job now, which is part of the reason I'm not doing a placement. But I know now I'm a lot more ready than I was then. Say a year, 2 years ago, I didn't know for 100% sure what I wanted to do. And so going into a job, then sort of like I'm going down that path, and I know I'm going to go get experience there. I know you can change jobs and all stuff like that, but I wanted to take the path where it's more time to focus on what I'm enjoying. Obviously, everyone has a good time at university anyway, so that was a big contributing factor in there in itself. But I knew that I wanted to go and have a good time, expand my knowledge with history, see what I can get involved in at uni with the different societies, etc. And then now I'm more in a position where I'm like, okay, so now I have more explored my interests. I now know this is what I want to do. I'm on the path to do it, and all is hopefully all is good.
Could you tell us more about your YouTube channel? Why you started, when it started, what your plans are, and what people can expect?
So with my YouTube, it was I know everyone says this is like, oh, it's always something I've wanted to do. Well, for years, for probably since I've been about 12, 13, every year when we'd go camping over summer, I would make like a quick holiday video for us. I'd like make that myself just on like an app on my phone. And then come last year after my exams, not last year, was it? The year before, oh no, 2019, yeah. After my A-level exams, I just thought, right, okay, I've got this massive gap in time between finishing my exams, which is like June time, I think, mid-June, and then I'm not going to be starting university until September. So I thought I've got this massive gap in time where I'm just like, I don't want to waste it. I like, we was going camping, like I said, we go camping every summer, and we had some summer plans, but I was just like, I don't want to just sit at home all this time. I want to be productive. I want to do something, want to like put my energy into something. And so YouTube was the first thing that I was like, yeah, that's something that I definitely have a passion for. I could definitely explore that in some way. So I filmed, what was it, like 1 or 2 videos in July, edited them through August, and it came to, I think it was a week before starting university, and I was just like, I've got these 2 videos here, and I've just been too nervous to upload them, this and that. So I was just like, you know what? Public, yeah, it's on now. Put it on my Instagram. Everyone knows, right? I'm in there now. Threw myself in the deep end. I'm gonna sink or swim now. Let's see what happens. So I did that. I filmed another one. I go to university. I think it was like the first day I moved in. People added me on Instagram, and they was like, "Oh, you've just uploaded a video." I was like, "Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, just put one out right now." And then I tried to go. The main struggle that I found starting YouTube was I set to upload weekly without knowing what my channel was or what I wanted to focus my interest in and what I wanted to film videos about. And I'm not saying I'm 100% clear on that now, but I definitely now know more of a strategy approach sort of thing. Whereas at the start, which I think everyone does really, you're just trying to explore what you want to do. You're just copying kind of the format and the video style and the topics of YouTubers that you like to watch. So but then you're also doing like the typical generic Q&A, like facts about me, all this and that, which I think at the start only like your friends want to watch really. Until you start to gain a bit of a following, then no one's going to be like, oh yeah, I'd really want to know 5 facts about Dane sort of thing. I like that was my mindset on it. I was like, I don't really think anyone cares about knowing 5 random facts about me. So the most I did with that was like a Q&A and tried to focus more then on, I tried to do a story time. I've done that once, and then it was just things like that. And then I got to uni, made a video on Freshers Week, which did better than my other ones in the past few weeks. And I was like, okay, so maybe I could do a couple to do with uni. And then I started doing some just some like funny ones. I thought they were funny, and yeah, stuff like that. And then it only was after Christmas when I made one about eating like The Rock for 24 hours, where I made that video. While making it, I think I made the intro to it the night before, and I was just showing all my friends. I was like, oh, like boys, I love this already. Like my intro to this, like I'm obsessed with this video already. I can't wait to film it tomorrow. And so through the day filming, I spent the entire day. I think I ate like 7 meals. The last one was just 7 scrambled eggs, just pain in that. It was a tough day to get through, but I loved filming it because I had a set plan with that video of how I was going to edit it. Yeah. And so from then I did one, which I look back on now, it's very cringy, but it's the same style, trying to become TikTok famous in 24 hours. Then there was faking being rich on Tinder, which was very funny. I faked going to Barcelona in, when was that, July, just when the lockdown was lifted and you could actually go to Spain. So I faked going there for a week. And over lockdown, I tried to again upload weekly, and I was like, okay, I've now got more of a basis of what I can do with my videos. I now know how to edit a lot more. I now know what I like. So I tried to upload weekly, but it turned out again that every week it got to a point where I'd be like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do this week. So the first idea that might be good that comes to my head, I'm like, okay, all effort into that, which I put a lot of effort into it. And the editing side of it, like, was like, I'm not saying high quality, but the same standard as the rest of my videos. But it's just the topics that I was basing the videos on. It was like, well, these aren't like the ones that I was saying, then like the Rock one, the Tinder ones, the fake holiday, they're like my favorite ones because they're what I've really enjoyed doing. My weekly ones that I was doing over lockdown, I was more like, okay, these are just what can I put together this week, and it was just rushed. And the idea and the creativity is basically my point, wasn't really behind it. So now my plan for the future at the moment anyway is to come up with a really good plan and take my time on it, take maybe 2 or 3 weeks to make from the first idea to actually finishing the video, and fully put my time and effort into it. And yeah, so I've got one coming out. I'm filming yesterday and today. That should be coming out in a couple of weeks' time. And then I've got some more planned in like working with the university, because they have a team actually called the Digital Ambassadors, which I'm now a part of from doing YouTube, where I've done one with them talking about the clearing process. I've done one through the history department talking about top tips for coming to university, specifically with history, which is just like how to find your timetable, etc. And yeah, so I'm doing a couple more projects with them. And at the moment, I'm just trying to make the videos that I enjoy the most, while also putting out stuff that I think is good, not rushing them. And as long as I'm enjoying it, that's what I'm focusing more at the moment, rather than putting out a video every week. I'm now focusing on, as if I'm enjoying it, if I'm enjoying filming and editing a video, I'm going to put it out and I'm going to be happy with it. And then that's taught me to care less about, oh, this one's only got this many views, or compared to this one that's got this many views, this one must be horrible, where it's actually all right. It's just my process going with it. Yeah, which I'm sure, like, it's hard to start a channel, isn't it? I'm sure you can relate with that. It's mainly at the start, you get the backing from your friends and your family, and it's a struggle to try and build that initial audience, which I'm not saying I've done. I'm still in that struggle, but it's definitely a struggle at the start. Yeah.
At this point, I like to have what I like to call a free-for-all. You could say what you want about what you like. You could give advice. You could put your ads. You could say thank you. You could put general more advice. Literally, the floor is yours.
So I could say anything. Oh my gosh.
Anything you want.
Oh wow. Well, my Instagram is at Danny Mellows. That's literally just my name. Oh my gosh, put me on the spot now. I don't know what to talk about. Been on a bit of a YouTube rant for a little bit. I'll say some of the videos I've got planned for YouTube. I guess I've got a room tour coming, a house tour coming, got some pranks coming, which I share a wall with one of my friends, so I hope he didn't hear that. So yeah, I'd just say, yeah, I guess that's me. I'll say as well, I do radio at university at Jam Radio Hull on Instagram. That relaunched yesterday on Friday, the 30th of October. So yeah, definitely if you can tune into that, we've got some good things coming on there. I'm doing this year a pre-drinks radio show. So what you do if you're having the pre-drinks before you go to the pub or whatever, and just put that on the stream. And yeah, through doing DJing as well with Jack at Asylum, I'm getting more of an idea of what songs people like to listen to in clubs, but then also it's a different vibe at the pre-drinks. But then through the DJing, I'm also now learning how to like mix songs, because I've got like a DJ deck and stuff now. So yeah, that's how I'd say YouTube, radio, and my Instagram is my free for all, I'd say.
So if you just want to end the video,
guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm plugged in.
Amazing. Thank you.
Perfect, man.